So I'm just out here in the garage for the week. We finally had the cold snap break here at the beginning of February, so made it worthwhile turning the heat on out here in the garage. So I just got an electric one on that propane buddy heater. Still pretty chilly out here. It's only been on for about an hour and a half, but we've just been running the chop saw, working through the parts list to start making the outhouse. So we're just gonna work at that. I should have enough height in here to build the whole thing. And then I also got, that's 2 sheets of just clear plastic to make a window and vent. So, but we're just using that stuff. And from other projects, I got a bunch of deck boards there and 2 thin sheets of plywood here. They actually used to be shelving like that in here. So we're just using scraps around the house to try to get this outhouse project done. And then all the steel's already up at the camp, so hopefully we'll just skid up the frame this Saturday, and then we'll have a washer. So the plan is to make just a 3 foot by 3 foot outhouse. Not much to it. I mean, it's not even a real true outhouse, because we can't dig this time of year, so it's just gonna have a bale in it, and we'll just be using ash and sawdust to put on our droppings after we're done. But it'd be nice to have one up there to enjoy the rest of the winter, stay the weekend and stuff like that. So we're just going to work away at this is just going to be the floor. It's going to be pretty simple. I'll probably just shovel out as much snow as I can from underneath it and throw it on a skid. Keep it up off the ground for now. We should have enough plywood. I got the floor here, another piece and a bit. So I should be able to make the seat and everything with 2 of the shelves that used to be in here. I had some tuck tape right handy, so I'm gonna tape the seams and then flip her over. See how this goes. We'll finish screwing this down. We'll get it out of the way and then we'll start on the walls. Finally starting to get comfortable in here now. Hands aren't getting cold anymore. Like about 2.5 hours with the heat on. So we got the floor all done. Laid out, I'm going to do the sides next, I think. So I'm just going to mark out the top and bottom plate. There's the two walls, and that's the back. And everything here for the front. And then I'll do the roof and build the door. Hopefully it will truck up pretty good just being the frame. And got a roll, a partial roll from my dad, a Tyvek, so I'll wrap it and then cover it in steel. We'll see how it goes working with that plastic. I've never worked with that stuff before. I'm not sure how it cuts and drills. Whether it's just gonna melt and burn or that's gonna be the side window right beside the door on the trapper's cabin. This sort of header plate thingamajig. I'm not a framer, so. But I do know a stick frame, if you don't have any shear stress or strength from the sheeting. So I threw a couple pieces up top on an angle. And then I might do some blocking on the walls depending on how it feels when I put it together. We're just going to screw all this in and then bring the base back out and stand the walls up, and then we'll put the roof on after. Set either wall on either side, and then just put the back on top, and we'll have to block it up and just build the roof at that end. So she's pretty solid now. I put that piece across there on an angle and it helped out a ton. And I screwed in that other side brace tight just so it doesn't move until I get some more blocking in. But it's pretty square for building on its side. Now I'm just trying to figure out my notch is that I want to. Not a roofer, not a framer. Square. Just gonna figure something out here. Once we get it cut, we'll trace it on the other four. Then we'll build the roof and set it on. I think it'll work. There's not much overhang with this roof, but the steel, it won't be supported, but there'll be an oversized sheet of steel on it. Maybe not to the sides, but front and back. We're gonna cut those out and do 4 more and get this roof on. We'll get this assembled, put it on top, and that's gonna be it for tonight. It'll be 10 o'clock before I get to bed anyway. I'll have to build the door tomorrow night, do some of the blocking, and do the window. And then next night I'll get a few supplies for this weekend, and hopefully I'll get back up there Saturday. I missed this weekend up there doing other stuff, but the goal is to get up there at least 3 weekends a month so we can keep making progress. So the roof was hitting, here wasn't sitting flat. I tried to keep it back enough that the angle wouldn't hit it, but I had no idea where I was going to put the roof, so we're just putting a little chamfer on this. Well, we're back in the garage today. I dragged the outhouse back inside. Got the heat back on. So we're just making the platform for your hiney. These are just going to screw into the upright studs, and then I got a block at the bottom. It'll just sit under the back on that center stud. But they just hit all the fasteners on the underside. So I got an overhang lip, because if anybody's used an outhouse in the winter time, they know how much foam helps. So I've cut out a piece of foam. Just gotta get my circle cut out. This will be sitting underneath, most likely with a bag for easier cleanup. Well, we're back at this again tonight. It's been 3 days. I wish I had it done in 2, but last night I had to work late, and I was just tipping this over on its side to drag it in when I got home after work. It's not icy today because it's warm, it's about freezing, but yesterday she was sheer ice and feet went out from underneath me, and I don't know how many people can say they had an outhouse fall on them, but I was one of them. Anyway, got a big old bruise right here from the top board hitting it. Good thing it's not heavy, pick it off myself. But. So that wasn't fun. Anyway, last night I built the toilet seat platform. So I put a block in the back. I'm gonna add a couple more on the side here. I did some more blocking up in the roof up here. So I added 4 blocks up in here. So we're gonna get the toilet seat installed now and then work on the front door. And that should be it, and the rest will happen up at the property. So I made it this dimension. It's a little small, but the free steel that I got, I'm able to put 1 full sheet. It'll cover the whole dimension now, and my toboggan that I'll tow it up with, it's 3 feet wide, so that's why I picked that dimension. But you're not doing much else in there anyway, so should be fine. Anyway, we'll get this seat that I installed. I gotta cut the hole in the foam, obviously, tonight. I was just gonna put some blocking. there and there type of deal. So I put a nice radius on the edge of that board with the router, and then sanded it. It's so it shouldn't be sharp on the back of your knees when you're sitting down. It's a snug fit. We'll get that screwed in there now. Pedal should fit under there. I hope so. If not, we're going to have to adjust these before we get them screwed in. There'll be a bag in that, and then I'll make just a front door, and then this summer I'll probably figure out venting. It'll freeze in the wintertime, and I'll be putting sawdust and ash on your droppings, so it shouldn't be that stinky in there, but I'll figure out some way to vent it. I have a section of 3-inch conduit around here somewhere that I'll figure out a vent. We'll get this all installed here and then cut the desired hole in the foam. She's not screwed, but we can give her a test. Should do the trick, but the plan is to do a barn door, split door, and then also have I should have some leftover acrylic from my other window that hopefully I can build tonight as well. We'll get at her. Well, that's it. There's a close-up of the radius there. It's just blocked. It's pretty sturdy. So I got a couple old brass hinges I stole off of some old cabinet I burnt. Just make a couple double doors there. Should be enough clearance for the swing. And then I'll have to measure how high I want the bottom half of the door to go, and then we're gonna clamp that up right now. See if we can get that done. Fence boards have been sitting around here for 3-4 years now. I'm gonna use these up to build the door. So I just have them cut the length, loosely clamped in there. I'm gonna get my body weight on there and gonna work at one clamp at a time because they'll just buckle on me. I'm just gonna pin nail it together at first, and then I'll put some screws and bolts. So I got everything pin nailed on. The doors are already the right width and height. 40 inches ended up being a good height when you're sitting on the Janny on the spot for visibility for the half door in the summertime. So that happened to be right in the middle of the door, which was good. It's an 80-inch high door. So 40 inches would be good. And then I'm not very good at the bevel cuts and all that, so I got my midline, but I want the center of the bevel to be at the mid plane, not the top edge and then slope back. So I was just playing around with the scrap 2x4 to get the, so that's my midline where the start of the 45's gonna be. So I took a few tries at it and got a mark on the base plate where I need to follow. So I should be able to hit mid-plane of the door. It's going to be right in the center line. You can see that a little bit better. So I'm going to follow the line on top, but in the side profile, it'll be right at the midpoint of the door. So the reason I'm doing a bevel is when I cut the door in half, the top door is going to overlap the bottom. It'll shed water and stuff like that, and it also block the light so you won't get a through breeze coming right into the outhouse when you're in there in the wintertime. because most likely you'll have the door closed in the winter time. So I'll cut a little, well, this will be the top, I'll cut a little star and a moon probably into it, like every outhouse has, and I should have some leftover acrylic, and I'll just screw those on. So I did find some 1-inch screws around here, so I have a few screws in every board to help the pin nails. If I can get some more, I don't have many 1-inch screws around here, so I'll probably put some more screws in it when I get some more. But we're gonna make this cut and see how it goes, and we're just gonna commit to it, and it's gonna end up where it ends up. I think I did all the math right. So I did pretty good. That line right there is 40 inches. So I had to offset it for right in the middle of the door. It's 40 inches. So it worked pretty good. Let's see if I can separate there. So now when I put the door on, the driving wind and rain won't have a through crack, and the water will be coming down this way. Just help seal it up. Worked pretty good. So I started working with the acrylic. I've never done it before. I've only made one cut so far. So I ordered, it was a 2-pack of 12 inches wide, 24 inches long. I cut it at 20 inches. That was the maximum width I could have on the cabin or the window. So with the remaining piece I cut off, I've placed on here where I wanted it and marked out 3 1.5 inch holes. So I got it taped on here. I'm going to drill through both layers of the acrylic. We'll see how it drills. I got a 1.5 inch Forstner bit in the drill press, and this was also left at my house. It's screen repair tape, so it's adhesive screen repair tape. It's 2 inches wide, so that's why I picked 1.5 inch holes. So on the outside, I'm going to put just one layer of this tape, and then the idea is if you want ventilation, you line up the holes, and then I'll make a track out of the other sheet to hold this piece, and you'll be able to slide it back and forth. And then with leftover, I'm hoping to put 2 windows in the top half of this door. So we're going to set up for the drill here and see how it works. It stinks, I can tell you that. So out of the other sheet that I had, I cut a 1 inch wide by 12 inch, a 2 2-inch by 12 inch, and a 3 inch by 12 inch. So I've got the 1 inch and a 2 inch, so it's going to go on the top, over top, and so that 1 inch will be a spacer and then the overlap, and then I have a 2 inch and then a 3 inch, and this will be able to slide, and the holes will match up or disappear. So I'm going to, I got this one all taped into place, and I'm going to drill out the holes on the drill press now, and then put the hardware in there so it doesn't move around on me, so I can get the spacing right on the top. But that's what I'm up to now. I also got all the holes pre-drilled around the outside for screwing it to the frame, and then we might put some blocking in behind. This is I haven't screwed up yet, but this acrylic seems pretty brittle. I think the polycarbonate's better to use, but not much I can do over the old lockdown here for hardware stuff, so we're gonna make do with the acrylic. Finished up the window. All we can do here get all this stuff off. It was a neat little project, probably not worth the time and effort, but it was a learning opportunity. Long reveal, I should say. So there it is. You gotta put nuts on it still and figure out a handle. But you can. So right now, all the holes are blocked. And then you align them. You'll have ventilation, you can see out it all. So on the outside, I just have these bolts in here for now. But on the outside here, I'm going to put a strip of that screen tape, and that'll be all I do here at the house. And we'll install it. And a glass window would have been nice too, but I guess there's another project for myself. Well, a lot of good that stuff is. Yeah, it repairs the screen, but it doesn't actually breathe. So that stuff won't be staying on there, but anyway, we're gonna start cleaning up for the day. I'd like to give a shout out to my grandpa. He gave me this a few years back when I moved up here to this place. Just a little assortment of nuts and bolts. But none of this tonight would have happened without all these nuts and bolts are what's holding this together. And then this is the only kit that I have that has 1-inch screws. So almost all the parts to tonight's project I had in stock, was only because he gave me this handy little thing. So I'd like to thank him again for that. Been dipping into it quite often actually with all these projects. I'm also going to thank Grandpa for, he gave me my stapler and brad nailer when he sort of stopped doing a bunch of woodworking, and then lo and behold he got himself back into it and had to go out and buy himself some tools again. So this brad nailer built this whole door and a few of the other projects for the cabin, so yeah, I just wanted to shout out to him again for this, between the hardware set and the brad nailer. He even gave me all the assortment of nails that I'm still working on, the stack that he gave me, so just want him to know that. I think that's going to be it for tonight. Tomorrow night I might finish up the windows in this top door, and then make the bottom butterfly doors to hide the pail in the bottom. Then get everything loaded up, and Saturday morning I'll head up to install all this stuff. So that's gonna be it for tonight. Gotta get up early again. Well, today's the day that we're getting the outhouse up to the camp. Just had to well, I'm just finishing up a few small little things for the outhouse, and then truck's all loaded, ready to go. We just have to set everything in the trailer, and then we'll get out of here. But marked out a couple diamonds here on the top half of the barn door, and with my leftover acrylic, I got it all pre-drilled and cut and marked. So I'm going to cut out these diamonds, screw on the acrylic on the inside of the door, and then I'm all ready to go here. I got the bottom butterfly doors all clamped up, ready to assemble, and they're going to cover where the bucket is. And then I've cut most of the blocking, so I can get rid of that angled support on the side. It's a bumpy ride in, so it's there's no sheeting or anything, so I'm going to put a ton of blocking in just so that outhouse is super rigid for the rough ride in. And we're going to load up, get out of here. Hopefully we can get up there and get it weatherproof and temporarily set up somewhere. Because I was doing this in the morning, I don't have as long a day. It's dark by 6 o'clock, so hopefully I can get up there and loaded in and unloaded and get the Tyvek and the steel on. But we'll get these couple projects done, screwing that block in, and we'll be on our way. We got a fairly early start out here in the garage, so we should be up there by noon, unloaded and into the cabin. So still gives me 6 hours of daylight. I don't mind driving home or sledding out in the dark, but we'll see what we can do here. Well, she's a brutally windy day. You probably can't hear me much, but we got the outhouse in. It just came unhooked, just coming up the hill. That bottom board rolled on it. It was on the knife on the vertical, screwed to it. So I lost my pail though, so I'm gonna unhook and run out, and hopefully I can find the pail. It's a white pail, go figure. But, so she's a terrible day for filming. But we're still making progress. So I've been shoveling out a path. Got to clear out all these little bushes yet. And I'll pack a path with the snowmobile right to the cabin. I got the skid in here. It's all shoveled out. I'll have to shovel some clearance for the door because we're going to get it facing this direction, overlooking the meadow / swamp. Limbed up those 3-4 trees there just so you have a view. But we're gonna get back at it here. So we got a pretty good path pounded down now. It's sugary snow, so it doesn't pack very well, but we got the outhouse shoved in here. It's still on the toboggan. I just screwed the skid to the bottom of it, so we're gonna stand it up and get it into place now. Well, here's an update. We got some Tyvek on the roof and a single piece of steel, just a few screws in it. So I'm just gonna wrap Tyvek around the entire thing just to get it sealed up. There it is, sitting on the skid. So I'll get this sealed and I'm gonna get out of here. I'm running out of daylight. It's pretty cold. I didn't even start a fire, I just kept working. So I'm been outside in this wind all day. I think it's minus 20 something with the wind chill today. That's Celsius. So we got it all wrapped up. I'm just gonna tuck tape the top edge all the way around, and that's gonna be it for today. Anyway, we got her sealed up. Next weekend's family day, long weekend here in Ontario, and I'm gonna be up here for 4 days, so I'll be able to make some real progress. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me again this week. I didn't make it up here last weekend, but hopefully I can get a video out every week, so I'd like to thank you for watching and following along. And if you could share with your friends or anyone else that you think would enjoy this content, that'd be awesome. Please like and subscribe. And we should have some good footage for you next weekend. I'm up here for 4 days, so see you then.